So let's get started. We're just gonna come into a comfortable seat to begin out with. And again, if you're still grabbing your strap or scarf or whatever it is, go ahead. You can still do the stretches without it if you don't have it. It's just a little bit more helpful to have the strap. So if you've got it, go get it for sure. So let's start in a comfortable seat, and let's take a second to just sit up nice and tall. Let's close off the eyes and just starting to connect into the breath. And hold on 1 second here. So 6 rounds of deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. We'll take about 2 more, breathing in all the way to full capacity and taking a big open mouth exhale. And then 1 more, make it the slowest, the deepest one yet. And let's bring the palms together, bring the thumbs into the heart, just slightly bow the chin into the chest. Taking a second to just acknowledge that you arrived. You're here, present with your body, with your mind, with your environment, and anything that comes up for you. You welcome it all into your practice as a way to observe yourself and to become more aware of yourself. Let's take 1 more cleansing breath. So a big full breath in. This time we're going to hold the breath at the top. So once you're full, holding retention. Keep holding for another second. And then big open mouth exhale. Good. So release the hands to the knees, sitting up nice and tall. Let's take our feet into butterfly position at this point. So soles of the feet together, knees wide. I'm just gonna come onto the ground at this point. So excuse-moi. So if you do have like a pillow or a blanket handy and you want to use it to sit up a little bit taller, you're more than welcome to. But we'll bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide, sitting up nice and tall. And we're just gonna open up through the neck a little bit. So start to draw the head into some half circles or just some full circles, allowing just the weight of the head to kind of guide where the motion is flowing. So you don't have to necessarily forcefully bring your head down or forcefully bring it back, but intuitively move. Try to allow the movement to come naturally. And again, not too much extra force. And keeping the eyes closed and just keeping the movements slow and connecting to and observing where the tension is probably the greatest. And then the next time that your right ear comes over towards the right shoulder, we're going to pause there and also extend the left arm out to the side of us. So left hand extends out, right ear down towards the right shoulder. And for the time being, we'll just have the palm face towards the screen. When you're ready, we're just gonna drop the chin in towards the collarbone, letting the head be heavy. And following the breath, as you inhale, slowly begin to take the chin upwards towards the ceiling. So it's not a very dramatic movement, it's probably just about 3 inches or so. So as you exhale, chin comes down into the chest. And then as you inhale, you're slowly rotating the chin upwards, still head heavy over to the right. So take about 4 more rounds of breath like that. Try to elongate the breath and have it be seamless. So you're breathing just as much air in as you are out. Okay, so just about 2 more. exhale, we're gonna start to take the chin in down towards the chest, return the hand to the knee. And take a couple rounds of breath, sit up even a little bit taller and draw the shoulder blades down towards the ground behind you. So you have this broadness across the top of the back. And with your next exhale, bring the left ear over toward the left shoulder and then extend the right arm out to the side. Yeah, so palm just faces forward for the time being. Following the breath as you exhale, slowly drop the chin down into the chest. And as you inhale, we're slowly rotating upward. Feel free to close the eyes if you feel comfortable enough to. And continue to follow your own pace, your own breath. But I do encourage some slowness, some slothfulness. And relaxing the jaw while you're in this movement as well. Maybe even keeping the jaw slightly open. Take about 2 more. So as you exhale next, we're dropping the hand down to the knee, drop the chin into the chest, sit up nice and tall. And keeping the head heavy down through center. As you inhale, draw the shoulders up towards the ears, and then as you exhale, bring the shoulders back and down. So take 2 more in that same direction. Inhale up and towards the ears, exhale back and down. 1 more. Reverse the direction, bringing it up and back, and then forward and down. So inhale, shoulder blades back, and then up. And then exhale, forward and down. Do 1 more. So as you inhale, bring the head back up to neutral. Take the hands back behind you, lean back into the hands. We're gonna bring the soles and the feet down into the ground. Slowly start to windshield wiper the shins from side to side. And keeping a lifted up sensation in the chest as you do so. And then as you are ready, we'll bring it back to our butterfly position, but let's extend the left leg. So draw the right heel in towards the groin and extend your left leg over to the side. So again, if you have a little bit of a roundedness in the low back, you're seated a little bit more like this rather than like this, I would encourage you to sit on top of something, pillow, blankets, block if you've got it. But for the time being, let's take the hands to either side of your leg on the left side. Flex the left toes towards the face. Taking an inhale to lengthen up through the spine, reaching the crown of the head directly up. And then as you exhale, keep the length. We're going to slowly walk the hands just about an inch forward. There's really not too much room to go into. So 2 more times as you inhale, you're lifting up, reaching the crown of the head right up. As you exhale, you walk the hands just an inch or 2 forward. So 1 more time to do that. Breathe in, lift up. And then exhale, walking the hands a little bit further forward. So try to keep this length in your spine for the next couple of rounds of breath. Arms are extended, neck is long. A little bit of activation through the back leg, pressing down into the ground. Just checking in with the sensation, this active sensation here. So this is a bit of an active stretch. We're keeping length into the spine. Arms are extended, shoulders down. We're gonna go into the opposite. We're gonna go into a passive stretch. But when you're ready, feel free to linger a little bit longer in the active stretch, but when you're ready, you can start to round into the back, head rounds forward, just folding over the leg as much as you can. Even if it just looks a little bit more seated upright, your head just kind of falling forward, that's okay. You wanna go into the posture at a sustainable rate. We don't want it to be too much, we don't want it to be too little either. Relax the flexion in your toes. Really allow the whole weight of the head and the torso over the left leg. Relax the hands. Try not to hold on to anything unless it's a passive holding on. Rounding the shoulders forward and starting to breathe into the belly. Expand your belly as much as you can. And as you exhale, just getting a little heavier over the left leg. Continue with that belly breath, expansive on the breath in, and totally surrendering on the breath out. Take about 5 more rounds of breath here, nice and slow. Relax any holding on to the leg. Try to give some gentle open mouth exhales. 2 more. So with your inhale, we'll keep everything low. You'll start to walk your hands towards center. And then slowly start to extend the hands as far forward as you can, even if it means you need to lengthen up through the spine a bit. We're only going to take a couple rounds of breath here, but feel free to go into it a little bit deeper than what your sustainable rate would be. As you inhale, continue to move your hands over to the right. So we're going to start to lift up through the torso. And start to bring the right hand behind the right hip. And then the left hand up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, try to stack the right hip over the right knee. And set the hips forward. Make a big arm circle with the left arm here. Big and wide as you can get. Left foot is planted down. Hips are moving forward. You can on your exhale, we'll slowly bring it back down towards the ground, hips land. Bring the soles of the feet down into the ground. And again, just a little bit of a windshield wiper to neutralize through the hips a bit. As you inhale, bring it back to center, bring the soles of the feet together. Place your left hand onto the heart, place your right hand onto the belly, sit up nice and tall, close the eyes, reconnect back to the rhythm of the breath. Connecting back into your heart space, what it's like to feel that beating underneath the hand. Ready, let's shift to the other side. So extend the right leg and keeping a bend into the left knee. Moving the left heel a little closer in towards the groin. The first portion is a little bit more active. Hands will come down to either side of the right leg. Flex the right toes towards the face. Nice and tall. As you breathe in, reach the crown of the head directly upwards. As you exhale, walk the hands just an inch further forward, barely anything to keep all the length. So take 2 more like that. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, keep the length, walk the hands a little further forward. And 1 more like that. Breathe in, lift up. And then exhale just a little bit further forward. Keep this activation. The arms are long, neck is long, spine long, toes flex. Close the eyes. Take about 3 more rounds of breath with this activation. And then on your exhale, you can start to round into it. Again, it may not be a very dramatic movement, and that's okay. Just kind of fold into it. Head relaxes down, hands relax. You're totally heavy over the right leg. But the trick here is to just really trust into the body, that the body's never going to push you further than where it's ready to go. So the more you can let go of, the more your body is going to be able to also release. So make it a goal, make it a conscious effort to be able to sit in stillness, but also be able to release any bit of holding on that may be present. Breathing into the belly, taking full belly breaths and giving full exhales out. Fold over the leg a little teeny tiny bit more at a time. Just about 5 more, nice and steady with the breath. They're giving more complete exhales out of the mouth. And last one. With your inhale, try to keep the chest low, a heaviness about it. Start walking the hands towards center and then extend the arms as far forward as you can. You're gonna hold for just about 3 here. So just as much sensation as you can take without overdoing it. And last one here. So on your inhale, we'll start to continue our pathway over to the left. Hand on over chest comes all the way over. Left hand behind the left hip, right hand up, and then stack left hip over the left knee. Hips move forward, big arm circle with your right arm as wide as big as you can get there. Yes, take about 2 more rounds. And then as you exhale, we'll slowly make our way down. Hips land onto the mat. So let us cross the legs and bring the hands forward. We'll come into tabletop position. If you're on a hard floor, feel free to take a blanket underneath the knees. And also grab a hold of your strap or your blanket or your whatever you're going to use overhead, your broom, your scarf, your belt, whatever it is that you got there. So I'm going to face forward. We'll sit in hero's pose. I'm going to take you can take a different position if hero's pose doesn't work out for you. You can also sit in butterfly position when you were just in. But I suggest you sit in hero's pose. Heels together, knees together. And a block underneath or a pillow in between the ankles is always nice. So when you're ready, we'll take our strap or our scarf or whatever we've got, broomstick, anything. Take it in front of you, and we're just gonna follow the breath. So as you inhale, take the strap up overhead. As you exhale, you may need to widen the stance with the hands, that's okay. Bring it all the way back and down towards the hips. We'll follow that breath for a couple more rounds. As you inhale, slowly bringing it up overhead. As you exhale, slowly bringing it forward. Move the hand in just about 1 inch, and then continue on, breathing in as you come up, and as you exhale, you're drawing it all the way down. Make sure that the ribs don't flare forward. You have the ribs tucked in towards the center of your body. Breathing in to come up. Exhale, bringing it forward. Walk it in just another inch. Breathe in to come up. Exhale, bringing it back and down. Breathe in, come up. Exhale, forward. Last time, walking it in just a little teeny tiny bit. As you inhale, bring it up over the head, and as you exhale, bring the strap down and try to make it towards shoulder height. So it's not down here and it's not all the way up here. It's kind of at shoulder height. Drop the chin into the chest. And just take a couple rounds of breath. If it's way too intense, you can let some of the strap go and make it a little bit wider. That's no problem. About 3 good full rounds of breath to the top of the collarbones. As you exhale, soften through the shoulders. Big, slow breaths in. Big, slow breaths out. One more. With your inhale, bring the strap up overhead. Try to keep your torso relatively the same position it's in. We're just going to move through the arm. So draw the right hand down towards the ground, keeping the left arm fully extended. We're going to create this long, taut strap or scarf, just kind of up overhead and over the shoulders here. A couple rounds of breath into the left side of the body. If you want to, you can lean a little bit over to the right for a little bit more sensation. And again, this can be done without a prop if you don't have one. Take 2 more. As you inhale, bring the strap up overhead. As you exhale, we'll slowly drop the left hand down. Try to keep the torso upright. And if you absolutely need more sensation, then you can start to lean over to the left a little bit. You can always shorten the stance with your hands if need be. Breathing into the right side of the body. Let's take 3. 2. Last one. So as you inhale, bring it up overhead, and then we'll exhale, we'll release and we'll place it off to the side. Good, so we'll come into tabletop position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, slowly drop the belly to the ground, lift the gaze upwards towards the ceiling. As you exhale, rounding in, chin into the chest, tailbone tucks underneath. Inhale, come all the way up, shoulder blades come in towards the spine, tailbone lifts. You can open mouth, exhale, round out, push the floor away. One more, breathe in to come up. Exhale, rounding out. Inhale, back to neutral. Gentle open mouth, exhale. As you inhale, let's bring the right foot forward and in between the hands. As soon as you're there, take the hand on top of the right knee, slowly lift up. Walk the right foot as far forward as you can, really sinking the hips down towards the ground. And we take the hands on top of the knee for balance. Untuck the back toes and firmly press both feet down into the ground. Keep the shoulders a little bit stacked over the hips. And if you feel confident enough, feel free to close the eyes, a little bit of an extra challenge. Otherwise, just take your gaze at one solid, non-moving object. And take about 5 rounds of breath here. Take 4. 3. 2. Last one. As you inhale, let's slowly start to bring the hands down to the ground. Start to draw your right heel toward your left hip and dropping the right knee down into the ground. So coming into your half pigeon, or what in yin we call sleeping swan pose. Extend the left leg back behind you. And if you have a couple of blocks to put underneath your hands, do so. Otherwise, you can just tent the fingertips. We're going to stay lifted up for this first several rounds of breath. So again, tented fingertips, or if you've got blocks, place them underneath the hands. Keep a nice tall spine and bring the shoulder blades a little further back in. So you have this broadness across the chest and across the collarbone. Keep the neck neutral. Close the eyes. We're going to take 3 more. So as you exhale, start to make your way down either onto your palms, your forearms, all the way down onto the chest if you want. If you need a little extra support, take a blanket, a pillow, or a block underneath the right hip. And just sink down as much as you can, as much as your body wants you to in this moment. You can always support the head either in the hands or let it just hang there. Maybe a pillow or blanket underneath that. Surrendering the whole weight of your torso, your head forward and down into the ground. Start taking notice of your breath pattern. Is there a way for you to breathe just slightly more deeply to get into the outer edges of this stretch? Make sure your jaw is relaxed. Your face totally soft. I'm going to stay for one more conscious aware minute here. Pushing all your exhale out, so there's no breath left. So fuller, more complete exhales out. Take 3 more. With your inhale, we'll keep the head heavy. Slowly walk the hands back in towards the hips. Take all the time you need. There's no rush. Then once you have lifted up, just tap the fingertips again. Gently take the gaze upwards. And as you inhale, lean over to the right hip. Let's take the left leg forward. And we're going to bring the right foot up and over the left leg. So left leg is extended forward, Right leg up and over the left. Grab your left arm around the right leg. Sit up nice and tall. Flex the left toes towards the face. Give yourself just a little bit of a rock from side to side. Plant the right foot down into the ground. As you inhale, reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the right hand behind the right hip. Gaze over the right shoulder. We're not going to take a deeper bind of bringing the elbow to the outside edge, but it's not necessary. We're only going to be here for about 4 rounds of breath. So only if that is very accessible, very easy to you, do it. Otherwise, stay. Breathing into the whole length of the spine. Two more. On your inhale, unravel out of the twist, take the hands back behind you. We'll lean back to uncross the legs, bring the soles of the feet down into the mat. Have the fingertips point towards the hips. If that's too intense for you, you can have the fingertips point to the side of the mat. So when you're ready, take a breath in, and as you exhale, lift the hips up and drop the head back. One more round of breath. On your next exhale, slowly lower the hips down to the ground. We'll cross the legs, bring the hands forward, and we'll come back to tabletop position. Good, so once you're here, you can take a couple of rounds of breath to do anything you want to. So probably feel real nice to come up into downward facing dog. Maybe give your right hip a little bit more release. Maybe you want to just go back into child's pose. Maybe you want to do some cat-cow. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want for the next 3 rounds of breath. Start to make your way back to tabletop position. One cleansing breath, big breath in through the nose. Big open mouth, exhale. With your inhale, walk the left foot forward in between the hands. Bring the hands on top of the left knee, slowly lift it all the way up. Walk your left foot as far forward as you can, even if it's just a little bit. Keep the hands on top of the left knee. Let the hips sink down and forward. Try to keep the shoulders a little step more over the hips, then folding forward. Keep the neck neutral, and again, if you want, close your eyes. Otherwise, keep your gaze at some solid, non-moving object. And take 5 here. Last one. And then when you're ready, we'll start to take the hands down to the ground. Start dropping the left knee down to the floor, behind the left wrist, and the heel towards your right hip. Extend your right leg back behind you. Again, if you've got blocks, use them. If not, just tent the fingertips. Lifting up through the torso, shoulder blades back. We're staying lifted for the first 3 rounds of breath here. Neck is neutral and lifted through the spine. One more here. So feel free to linger a little bit longer if your body's asking you to. Otherwise, just make your way down into it. Lowering the forearms down, head, chest, anything that you see fits in this posture on this side of the body. You can always use a pillow, rolled up blanket underneath the left hip if you need a little extra support. Or if you just want it, you don't even necessarily need it, but your body's asking for it. As close down with your chest and head to the floor. As soon as you get there, try to find that stillness rather quickly. Just invite it into the body. Just allowing the breath to move you. See if your breathing pattern has changed. Maybe it requires a little bit more focus, a little bit more depth. And a good trick for the mind is continuously taking those gentle open mouth exhales. So if you find yourself having a bit of a struggle or a challenge with staying with the breath, continuously making it long and continuously giving those gentle exhales out the mouth. And see what comes up for you. Releasing any attachment to what you think this posture is supposed to be like. And observing it just as it is. Let's stay for one more minute here. Start deepening the breath if you haven't already. We'll take 3. So on your inhale, keep the head heavy, but slowly walk the hands back in. Head is the last thing to lift up out of the posture. Pull, tense the fingertips, extend the arms, take the gaze slightly upwards. And lean over to the left hip. Bring the right leg forward. Cross the left foot over the right leg. And then squeeze your left leg as close into the body as you can. And give yourself a little bit of a rock from side to side. Good. As you exhale, drop the left foot down next to the right hip. Keep squeezing in with the right arm. Inhale, extend the left arm all the way up. And then exhale. Left hand behind the left hip. Take the gaze over the left shoulder. Keep a nice tall spine. Keep squeezing in. Feel free to take that other bind elbow to the outside edge of the knee if you want to. Again, just if it's accessible, not a forceful bind by any means. Close off the eyes and breathe all the breath into the entirety of the spine. Three more. As you inhale, unravel out of the twist. Take the hands back behind you. Again, fingertips point towards the hips or out to the side. Uncross your legs, soles of the feet down into the mat. Take a breath in. As you exhale, send the hips as high as you can. Drop the head back. Around here. With your exhale, slowly lower the hips down to the mat. Okay. So keep the soles of the feet down. Grab a hold of the backs of the thighs, and we'll slowly make our way down onto the mat. So curl the spine, slowly come down into it. And grab a hold of the right back of the right leg, and extend the left leg onto the ground. Come around this way, Mike's is a little bit closer. So you want to squeeze the knee as close into the chest as you can. And keep a good tight squeeze of it. So as we start to move with the breath, I want you to stay focused with not allowing the right knee to come further away from the chest, but it stays in this position that it is in now. It's going to widely limit the range in which you're going to be able to extend the leg, and that's okay. So with your breath in, start to extend the leg. As soon as you start to feel it, stop. As you exhale, bend into the knee again. So again, it's not going to be a wide range, and that's okay. With your breath in, you slowly extend the leg. As soon as you start to feel it, start to exhale, bring it all the way back down. We'll take about 2 more. And then with your next exhale, inhale, we'll extend all the way, and we'll keep it in that extension. So you're going to keep the squeeze, you're going to keep the extension. And take 2 more there. And last one. And so let's keep the bend into the knee. We'll start to draw the right knee down towards the right side of the body. We're gonna come into a happy baby pose. So grab a hold of the foot, either the outside edge or the big toe with your peace fingers. And just let the right knee come down towards the ground, towards the right rib cage. Extend the left arm out to the side. A couple rounds of breath here. With your next exhale, it slowly release. Out. Well, first let's hug both knees into the chest to neutralize a bit. So both knees hugging in. Then extend the right leg onto the ground. Grab hold of the back of the left thigh, so underneath the knee crease. And you can squeeze in. See how close you can get that right knee into the chest. As soon as you get it, start to follow the breath. As you inhale, start to extend. And again, even for me, even though I could extend my leg, but it would mean I'm dragging my knee further away from the body. Keep that knee close into the chest. See where my range is there. Inhales, bring you to extension. Exhales, bring the knee into its bend, retract it back down. Take about 3 more. 2. last one we'll hold. So when you get into your extension, right where you feel the sensation, pause there, stay there. And keep breathing. Last one. So on your next exhale, let's start to bring the left knee into our half happy baby. So left knee comes down towards the ground. You can extend your right arm out onto the ground. If you notice your right hip is coming up off the ground, you can take your right hand to the right hip, keep it grounded. A nice tall spine, even in this lying down position. Two more. On your next exhale, bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a good tight squeeze. And give a little bit of a rock from side to side as well. Okay. So I know we all have a little bit of different scenarios of what we have available to us in terms of prompts. If you happen to have a rolled up blanket, or if you happen to have a block, you can do a supported back bend. If you don't have either of those things, no pillow, no anything, you can take a bridge pose, which would be feet to hips distance apart, fingertips touching the heels, and then lifting the hips up. Try to keep the knees just about hips distance. If you want, you can grab a hold of opposite hand. But if you happen to have a blanket or a pillow available, take it either underneath the sacrum. Your preferred choice, roll up a blanket, place it underneath the spine, like so. But it's really up to you, and I know we all have different things available. So pick something that works for you, an active posture. Maybe if you're just feeling a little bit more active, a little bit more restorative posture, if that's more your speed right now. And we'll hold for just about a minute in any position that you chose. Trying to find stillness and an ease of breath. Keep the breath a little bit deeper. Think about 3 more. So before I guide you out of this posture, if you're really enjoying your posture, you've got a good setup, you're more than welcome to stay, and you can use this as your final resting position. If you want to switch it up, you're kind of over it and you want to take your more traditional Shavasana, we'll start to make our way out of whatever posture we are in. Sometimes a good way is to just grab a hold of the backs of the legs, slowly pull yourself up if you're in something like what I am. You remove your props out of the way and we'll slowly make our way back down onto the back. You have about 1 minute to do whatever you want to. If you feel like you want to take another little twist or a shoulder stand, plow pose, you're welcome to. If you're feeling ready to go down into Shavasana, you are complete with your practice, then by all means take your Shavasana. You can have your traditional Shavasana of arms and legs extended on the ground. If you're at home, you're welcome to kindly make your way to a comfortable position anywhere in your house. But but whatever you choose, make sure there's a full opportunity for release and complete non-doing. There's no action, there's no effort to maintain the posture. So once you find it, and if you haven't made your way down into it, start to make your way down into your final resting pose. So once you're there, make sure there's no holding on, there's no effort whatsoever. And give yourself one more cleansing breath at your own pace. Whenever you're ready, slow, full breath in to get to that full expansion, and then a slow, full breath out to really give the whole weight of the body down into the ground. start to deepen our breath and bring a little bit more expansiveness to the body. Re-invite some movements to your limbs, your extremities in any way that feels good. When you're ready, roll over onto the left side of the body, come into fetal position. Pause there, allow yourself to reconnect to the breath, reconnect back into your center. When you're ready, we'll slowly come up into a seat. Once you are seated, let's bring the palms together, bring the thumbs into the heart. We'll bow our chins into our chest one more time. Nice tall spine. Admitting any gratitude, thankfulness you wish to share. And let's take one more deep breath, a big full breath in through the nose. Big open mouth exhale. Thank you all so much for letting me guide you through your practice. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Feel free to linger a little bit or just leave.